Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we are doing midweek magic and it's a first. We're actually getting a quick draft and it's a phantom quick draft, so pay attention to this this line in red, this red line. This event is phantom. Cards you draft are not added to your collection. However, it is a very good way to get a feel for what drafting is about. Actually, I would like to see this. I would like to see this for every set, because every set will have a very different way of playing limited. If you've been drafting Midnight Hunt and you start the drafting Crimson Vow, first thing you'd notice is that both of them are play around quite differently for the most part. Anyway, I will also note you notice that the 1 win, 2 wins are not seem to have another part over here. Let's turn off the webcam for a while. Can't even turn it off. There you go. On 3 wins, you get a mystery cosmetic. So, what they have done is they seem to be phasing out giving away cosmetic codes, but instead they're making it part of the midweek magic. So that looks like it's gonna be a thing. Anyway, enough about that. We're gonna start this one. And I bet it just throws you into the draft straight away. Now, pretty much this is a phantom draft, so you can take all the time in the world you want with this. Usually the first thing we'd be on the lookout for is a bomb. Usually it would be a rare or mythic. Unfortunately, unfortunately for us, it's a dual land that we're not even gonna be able to keep. So we kind of want to look for something that is more relevant here. If you can't find a really big bomb, the next thing to find is removal. So Wolf Strike would fall along those lines. That's pretty much it, because removal's a lot harder to come by, at least for Crimson Vow, so that's something to consider. Let's pretend that Wolf Strike is not here, because I am going to take this one. Because it's either that or Wolf can outcast, which is quite good as well. It costs 2 less if you control a wolf or werewolf, so it wants to drive you into werewolves already, which is not too bad. Also, it is an interesting argument, because Wolf Strike is a bit hard to. Wolf Strike, you do need creatures for this to count as removal. You will generally have a lot more creatures now. If I remember correctly, it's you're looking now for basically kill spells. You're looking for efficient creatures, so creatures with very good stat lines here. So this one would be okay if you have another werewolf. This you don't really want to cast this one if you don't have any werewolves. Frenzied Devils, 3/3 haste, but you need to have non-creature spells, so this one's actually a bit more of a dud. Drunkskull Infantry is efficient. It is actually reasonable. If I was going into white, I would probably take that one. Let's see. Blood Crazed Socialite, 4 mana for a 3/3 menace with a blood token. This is kind of efficient. Moldgraph Millipede, very efficient if you can get in the mid game. Though this is mostly a vanilla. It is still going to be a vanilla creature. Rural Recruit gives you 2 bodies for 1, so this is actually kind of fine. Oddly enough, the pig is training the recruits, so it is what it is. So if I had to go for this one, I'd probably take a sample and try out the Wolfkin Outcast here. Only because as far as removal is concerned, we need to make sure that we have the support for it. So I'm probably gonna try this one out. Let's see if we can get that deck. And we seem to slightly rewarded here. So another Wolf Strike, which is a bit concerning. There's a Weaver of Blossoms, which does help us splash for any bombs that we open in pack 2, pack 3. But we also have a Pack Song Pup, which is a very solid early play. Especially if you have other wolves or werewolves, this one can grow out of control. So I'm actually gonna take this one first. And now the green is kind of drying up, so and unfortunately, since you're going for wolves werewolves, that's a bit of an that one's kind of dried out a bit. As far as We could go take Fierce Retribution. We could get kind of like into green-white. There's an Apprentice Sharpshooter, which is interesting reach training, especially if you're in werewolves. I probably will consider taking the Fierce Retribution, though it's target attacking creature, so you are holding it up as a response. It's also not exactly the kind of... It's also kind of expensive as far as removal. If it was one of the black removal spells, I would consider that. I could... If this were a real premium draft, premier draft, I would take Apprentice Sharpshooter and basically send a signal that I'm taking all the green. But this is a phantom draft. We're drafting so no one's gonna get that signal. I'm gonna take the Fierce Retribution here. And the next thing to consider also is what to do if things start not going your way. Now, like right now, we made 2 green picks, but it looks like they're all drying up really badly. Red is also kind of drying up too. It looks like white might be our alternate option here. So black is also consideration, although this one is this one's actually feel bad, so I think I'm taking the Kindly Ancestor here for now. There's a Bride's Gown, which is interesting as equipment, but not so great. Okay, so it looks like that has kind of dried up a bit. We will be pivoting to white. There is a red werewolf here, so well, there are actually 2 red werewolves here. So we can pivot that. We can pivot that way. I'm considering that only because the white is quite... Well, we have a combat trick here, that is quite good. I'm gonna take this one for now. Maybe there's still a chance. Looks like there isn't much of a chance here. So, but then again, our white is so underwhelming. I might just take the Evolving Wilds just to go along with it. Yeah, looks like it's gonna be white's plus. So red's really dried up here. Parish Blade Trainee. Yeah, we kind of have to take this one. Though green-white is actually... Well, we did get the Millipede back, so that is something that we will take. We actually got the Sawblade Singer and the Weaver of Blossoms back. We actually will take the Weaver of Blossoms here because we are still hoping to splash for anything that we open. I'm so glad I did not spend money on this particular draft, because if I were doing this as a real draft, I would say that it's gone to heck. So we do have some removal in Circle of Confinement. It is kind of limited, but it's still removal. We did get the Hookland Mariner. We have Mirror Hall Mimic as our rare, which is actually quite decent. It's pretty much the best creature on board, or in the future makes more best creatures. So I'm actually going to take this one. We do have an Evolving Wilds already. So now, let's see. We might start going into blue at this point. It's actually not too late to cut out some, because most of our white picks are very unassuming. White-blue is still decent here. There is a Cruel Witness. It's an efficient creature, 3/3 flyer for 4 mana. That one's always good. Okay, you got a Self-Off Entomber. Fleeting Spirit is gonna be very annoying to take out. We got another Fierce Retribution, which might be our way to kill stuff. Hold on, could we get into Spirits? Okay, because I'm already quite certain that this one's not gonna pan out here. Because we can take either Fleeting Spirit. I don't want to take another Kindly Ancestor. I might take another Fierce Retribution just because it does combo well with Mirror Hall, with Cruel Witness so far. We can also just take Fleeting Spirit. This one's... It's discard a card. But it's returned to the battlefield. It's not like indestructible, so you can't stack auras on this. So this is actually a bit of a downgrade. But it does set up Disturb. And does have a way to get first strike. I think I'll take it. We kind of need to be a bit more aggro here. Arm the Cathars is pretty much a good one. We probably want to have at least one oh wait, no, we'll take a Gutter Skulker now. Let's see. Wanderlight Spirit. Binding Geist is quite good, if only because it messes up our opponent. But we will take the Piercing Light here just for some early removal. Yeah, we got another Fierce Retribution. So we can go at least main white here. Got another Kindly Ancestor, so that's something good. Oh, we now get the Twin Blade Geist, so we probably want to take a Cradle of Safety over Alchemist Retrieval here. Being able to protect our stuff is relatively good. Because if it's not about them killing us killing their stuff, it's them killing our stuff. Cradle of Safety is actually quite decent here. Would I rather have that over another Piercing Light? Actually, I probably do. But now we need to keep an eye on our creatures non-creature count because we're having way too many. Do I want a Kindly Ancestor or a Panic Bystander? We have two already. I think we need to go really aggro because of how bad our setup is. This is not supposed to happen. Grisly Ritual this late. And there's a Lantern of the Lost. And we got a Dig Up, not the rare we wanted. Eswald Shield Basher is quite... If it were not for the fact that it dies to all the 1-mana removal spells. But then again, what else would I take? I can take a Steelclad Spirit. I can take a Siphon Essence, which is always fine. Another Panic Bystander. It's fine. We do need some bigger end bodies though. I think I will take the Panic Bystander for now. Okay, Valorous Stance, that's good. That's good. This is decent removal, good protection. We will take that. Got another Fleeting Spirit. We also have Heron of Hope, but we're not so much into life gain. There's a Mischievous Cat, guys, which is actually quite good here. Another Valorous Stance, so we're actually getting paid off on that. All things considered. There is a Thirst for Discovery, which we can use to kind of draw cards. We are 13 and 8, so... But then again, I would rather take this over any other... But we will take other cards like this. Well, we could also run a Self-Off and Entomber just so we can get some... We can disturb some cards. I will note that we did not have any real big bombs here, so... As far as the draft goes, we are technically what is called in trouble. You probably have to take a Syncopate over the Syncopate here just to have a backup. There is a Heron Blessed Geist, which is a decent top end. It is a flyer. Okay, so also need to start making adjustments as to what do we want. Supernatural Rescue. Has flash as long as you control a spirit, so most likely we are going to target a spirit. We'll see how this works. I just want to try it out. Not too sure how... Not too sure how good it's going to be. I probably don't... We do get another shield back. We do get our shield basher back, so we do have that as an option. And you have an Entomber. So... If there's one, so this is basically a picture of a draft gone wrong, but I'm glad that this one is kind of light, and we do have a very good synergy. Another thing I would note is that you definitely do not want to go even number of your two colors, like that. So this is clearly a 9. This is clearly a 9/7. In fact, we can easily make this a 9/6. Go 16 lands because we don't have that. We only have a few very expensive cards. Not too many of them. We have a Thirst for Discovery that allows us to dig into more lands if we need to. So what are the cards that we probably would cut? We have a lot of creatures, but we also have a lot of non-creatures that are questionable as well. I might cut one Cradle of Safety. We'll keep the Supernatural. We're keeping the Syncopate for now, but I think because we have so little defense against really big threats. But it's also I'm also considering we'll cut the Adamant Will because we're okay with most of our creatures dying. Parish Blade Trainee feels like the weakest one here. Vampire Slayer, kinda random. Yeah, I guess we cut the Parish Blade Trainee. So this one's I'm super random, not so happy with this, but I'm so glad that this is a Phantom Draft. I don't get to keep any of these cards, which is probably fine considering I did not get to draft anything really powerful. I wonder if others were luckier in that respect. But we definitely keeping this one. Our opponent getting to go first makes our Syncopate better. That's a Dawnheart dice, that's fine. So we can drop a Mischievous Cat dice, but we're probably gonna pass for now. Because usually there's a follow-up. Yeah, we'll usually want to spend it for... So this turn we can drop Kindly Ancestor. Then the next turn we can do Bystander Catgeist. Dormant Wolf. Opponent's gonna start doing that. Although that does make our Valorous stance a lot better. Hold on. Whenever another creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. I actually want to play the Mischievous Cat dice here. We can kill this now, or we can wait for our opponent to drop something bigger. You know what? No, let's slow this up. Thanks for your cooperation. So I can play the Panic Bystander, so if our opponent decides to, say, block the cat dice, and we also hit our own. If you gain 3 or more life this turn, enchanted creature. So probably gonna play the Fleeting Spirit, but pass the turn. Get the transform on this one, so we at least yeah, that thing's gonna grow really big. So our mistake was kind of blowing our Valor stance on this right away. Also, kind of now I wish I actually splash black for the. I can actually still sneak 1 swamp in. We'll do that. I think our opponent might have some removal there. We actually do have the mana for removal now. Wolf Strike. Yeah, sure. Life, not... We just need to hit one of our few removal spells. Hide the Ancestor. Our opponent doesn't want to flip this. He wants to keep buffing, which makes sense. Unfortunately, we are now in the phase where we are just drawing lands, so I am tempted to just put the Catgeist on here, but only because I have nothing much else to do. But I could also wait for that one creature where... Yeah. And it exiles it, so not such a great use. Twin Blade Geist for double strike? Yeah, sure. What's the condition for... Oh, they just spend it. Okay. So, right? Yeah, we didn't happen... Okay, now our opponent is going to end up flipping, which is an issue. Yeah, they're now going for it. So, not really going well for us. But yeah, you can see it's really a case about landing those bombs. Ugh, got flooded with Evolving Wilds. I don't need the extra mana, so... I'm gonna just keep taking hits up here. What I'm probably... Yeah, kind of awkward they had that as removal, but so be it. Gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. We probably should concede at this point. I don't think we have any removal that gets past that guy. The least we can do is yeah, just discard. But we also learned that one mistake about not giving ourselves an out for death touch. Also, we can actually splash the... Yeah. Let's see. Does the game give us another land? Also, is this just sacrifice? It's sacrifice. You know what? We're conceding. We just drew lands and nothing else. Well, our opponent kind of drew a few lands also, but that they had a much better run on that we did. But we did learn some few things here. One, since we're already running black for... We did happen to have a Grizzly Ritual. We might as well run that. It's expensive for removal, but it's still removal. And we might as well run one swamp for it. It's 14, 15, 16. So the Valor stance is correct. We just kind of blew it too early. Fierce Retribution's correct. Panic Bystander's fine. Cradle Safety would be great. We kind of need to have an aggro opening. We can't just stall out like last time. Supernatural Rescue feels awfully weird. I'm actually gonna cut that one. So this is actually having a Phantom Draft like this. It's the perfect time to make mistakes. And even if so this one, we can't really keep this because we have no action. We have removal, but even then they only hit the big ones. So we have to mulligan this. This one's a lot better. We got some early stuff and the Twin Blade guys. We will bin the Heron Bless guys for the time being. We're just drawing into all our removal. Now note that Piercing Light by itself is not removal. We will run this. Now technically I should have run the double white first. If there's no need to, if you don't need to show your second color, don't show your second color. That's so critical safety on standby. I suspect our opponent might also have a Cradle of Safety, so I might just take the hit for now. Although what I can also do is block first. See if our opponent responds. Okay, we will respond first. Because Twin Blaze guys has double strike. If our opponent goes to buff something, we can. Okay, do we want another land? No. Okay, so we did make good use out of it. Let's see what our opponent's follow-up play is. First, well, Shield Basher, so we can Fierce Retribution in response. So that's the thing. One thing we're gonna do first is actually swing first with Twin Blade guys. See if our opponent probably will not block because double strike. But now we are in this awkward stance where we can't spend the mana. While this triggers on the stack, we have to go Fierce Retribution. There, nice. So opponent can choose to still pay if they want to, but they probably won't. So we actually managed to get out, managed to dodge that situation quite well. Opponent goes Drogskull Infantry. I was kind of looking into this one as an. Yeah, and I will play the Kindly Ancestor first. Then I'm actually gonna just pass, because I can do the Twin Blade guys thing defensively. Our opponent does have Kindly Ancestor. He might just, like, say, make the Drogskull Infantry have lifelink, I suppose. So it's about trying to outsmart your opponent in terms of timing. We kind of had the right mix of cards at this point, so that one's a good shot. Arm the Cathars. So target creature gets, let's see. Okay. So we can Valorous Stance something in Ancestors Embrace. Now, that's gonna be forever. So I'll take the 5-point life swing for now. Because what I can, yeah. Oh wait, here's an interesting trick I might be able to do. So they gain a bunch of life, but that goes back down to 2-3. Opponent deciding if they want to chump block. They probably will not. They'll hold on to the Cradle of Safety because that's still a big deal. Now that said, they can just slap this onto here. It'll gain them quite a bit of life. It does put them on the defensive though. That said, Cradle of Safety would, well no, this would still be a 4-5 if they slap it on here. We would need to hit another removal. We would just be trading life to no end at this point. So it's only whoever can land something decent. There's a Vampire Slayer. It's something. We're just waiting for our opponent to fire off an anticipated removal, so. Now I'm already starting to look up to this Cradle of Safety. It's starting to look actually quite good because a lot of removals can be targeted. We do need to hit an answer for this. That said, we are technically winning the race. Although, Lantern Bearer, yeah, not if this 5 dies. But they are out of cards. I can also choose not to swing with this one, but it looks like our yeah, it looks like our opponent is also slightly flooded too. But they will probably start holding back. Unfortunately, we are also getting flooded too, but we don't, if we don't need to play the land, we won't play the land. Like, a thing we can do is we can actually just play the Kindly Ancestor, trade off with their Kindly Ancestor. I will gain more life than they do, and I can slap the enchantment onto the erstwhile Shield Basher. So that's still an option. Yeah, there. So here's hoping our opponent does not have removal for this. Technically, I should not have played this until when there's no benefit to it. That feels weird because you can just pay mana for the lifelink. It was free anyway. Because I can now just swing with the erstwhile Shield Basher. Well, then again, I do have to worry about these flyers. Well, at least we have a syncopate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, well. The spell would have to be cheap enough. But our opponent is gonna gain 3 life, but we're gaining 4 life. So, essentially, the Lantern Bearer is only breaking even at this point. We're basically just holding on to the syncopate to mess with our opponent. Next big thing. Opponent did time out though. Well, I guess that's one way to end it. And okay, that's a bit uncalled for. It's not over yet. Like, the one strategy is if you don't have to play the land, don't have to, because the fear of the unknown is a real fear in the sense, like, if from my opponent's perspective, I have 2 cards in hand. I could also be sandbagging lands if but it could also be nothing. But the thing is, you have to operate based on this. You have to make a decision that there's either something or there's nothing. Here, I don't have to worry about that decision. I know our opponent has nothing. They have no cards in hand. So I don't know what to say. Other than I had a good time playing golf this morning. Well, yeah, it was hot. It was miserable. In that sense, but all in all, I'm starting to get the hang of it again after so long not being able to play golf. Like, it's been kind of on and off, but now it's starting to get a bit more regular again. So I'm already been able to make adjustments to my swing, and I just now need to get more practice in putting and my short game around the green. But otherwise, I have no idea why. So I'm definitely swinging in here, and I'm definitely paying. My opponent definitely taking, so we will play the land though. Because I don't know if our opponent's coming back, and I don't know if how much mana I need to hold for the syncopate to work. Because syncopate is probably one of the best counter spells for limited, and it's even good in constructed. But it does get worse over time. So, like, for example, I can counter any spell my opponent casts unless they can pay 5 mana. So, based on what they have on board, they can cast a 3 mana spell and I can't do anything about it. I think our opponent did drop out of the face of the server. So, I'm hoping that nothing I'm hoping nothing really bad happened on your end. I'm hoping everything's all right at home, or all right with the family. I'm hoping that it I'm hoping that things turn out well. Well, we got our first win. So there, yeah, so there we go. Maybe so even if you do mess up with, I would say our draft, yeah, I'd call it below average based on the power level that you're expecting in this draft. But in terms of things I had control over, I would say it was reasonable. So there we go. We got one win. Let's see if we, and we got a Demagogue Titan. That's, I don't, is that thing still even relevant? Anyway, let's so we are definitely keeping this. We have Piercing Light into Twin Blade. We have Piercing Light backup for now. We will definitely play the Twin Blade guys turn 2. Okay, Evolving Wilds is always a good lead on. Actually, no, we will play the Fleeting Spirit first. Because it's a decent beater. And a trick I can do with this is, yeah, we have Valorous Stance. Now, our opponent could just have one of the best. Okay, they're playing black, so it is possible they have, well, actually, in terms of removal spells, that is one thing Fleeting Spirit does dodge. So far from two. Okay, we'll take that. Yeah, unfortunately, if I do swing with, oh, wait, we do have a trick with this one. Let's see if our opponent just blocks. I'm hoping it's Fear of the Unknown. Yeah, they don't block. So we will run out the Twin Blade, guys. Now we kind of also want something better to copy with Mirror Hall Mimic other than this, and to Catapult Fodder. So there's a Valorous Stance card. We could copy it, but it doesn't really do anything for us, so some Air Swell Shield Basher. Okay, first things first. Because what's this? It transforms if you have 3 or more creatures with... Yeah, but we do, if we want the combat to work, we do need to do this first. Now I'm swinging both of this. Because our opponent was not willing to block the first time around, so the odds are good they're not willing to block the second time around. There we go. Opponent's playing Fork. Oh, Child of the... Now, we could copy it, but I'd rather wait for it to be a 5/5 before I copy it. Yeah, because if I copy this, if I make a copy of this, it doesn't transform, because that's not how this particular card works. It doesn't actually have a transform ability, so we're gonna pass. I am willing to trade Fleeting Spirit for it, so we can just continue messing with our opponent. We are eventually gonna have to play something else, though. Our opponent's actually been very good at dodging this removal. Like they've been so suspicious of it. So actually, yeah, that's a good mad read for them. Now we're just waiting for them to drop something better. Like it's kind of like they even discarded the Apprentice Sharpshooter. So they were in the toughness plan, but they went all over the place for it. Unhallowed Phalanx, I probably would not copy. Well, we have one turn before it becomes relevant. So we drew some mana. Finally, they couldn't resist. And the Scry would be good for us because we do need a second island. Panic Bystander, not so much. It's also Exile Tree. Oh, we can give first choice if we need to. So I think our opponent drops a Flourishing Hunter. That's worth copying, I suppose. Now, Cradle of Safety is an option. So I actually want the... let's see if we can convince our opponent to kill our Twin Blade Geist for us. Probably not. I would rather just hold on to the Cradle of Safety, but it's a shame that we've been missing our land mana drops. Mulch, okay, that's fine. Hits, oh. Well, there you go. There's all your lands that you already have all the colors of. So they actually wanted cards in the graveyard. Sporeback Wolf. That's fine. We will swing with Flourishing Hunter. Yeah. Let's see if we can convince our opponent to block. Yes. That's fine. So the trade will still kill it. Oh no, they changed their... oh, they're just gonna block with everything, which is fine, I guess. Which means I have no incentive now to... which means I have no incentive to trade on safety. So, but now I'm just waiting for a good target for Mirror Hall Mimic. Well, I'm also waiting for another blue mana, but that's another thing. But also, yeah, waiting for that and a good target, I suppose. So black mana would also be great because that gives us... well, I'll take that because... that gives me something... that gives me something to put on... okay, we can kind of wait on that. So that's an auto 8. And I can kind of buy some time with... or I can just give up the Fleeting Spirit. Sporeback Wolf. I could also give up the Grizzly Ritual because I have no guarantee of drawing that one swamp. What I could do is... let's see how many they attack with. Oh, they're gonna actually hold back the Unhallowed Phalanx now because they need to jump block this. So we'll take that hit. Since our opponent is not gonna attack anytime soon, I'm gonna go for this now because while it's not an attacking feature. Now technically I could still swing with this because this has double strike, but it would die in the comeback. Oh, our opponent is actually playing 5 colors. So got a mischievous cat, guys. So cradle of safety. Yeah, this one's gonna. Well, actually, it's not gonna quite die easily because of the indestructible. That's the only saving grace, I guess. Oh, they're letting it go. Oops. And there we go. We got that one. We were so planning to discard that cradle of safety, but yeah, I'm glad we held out to it in the end. Opponent should have started throwing wolves under the bus there. There was no. I think our opponent was hoping to maybe like go for one big swing, but I'm not so sure if that's the correct. Well, I think they kind of had to make a. They're taking a risk between a fast death and a slow death, so either one's okay. Now, normally this is. Hey, Talia, you've aged. We're actually coming to the point where several legendaries from Magic Story are supposed to be dying of old age. Well, I guess Audric's not gonna die anytime soon unless a stake to the heart is is part of the story. We have a turn to a turn 3 play. The bad news is we have a dead cruel witness, but you know what? It's premier. It's not a premier draft. It's a phantom draft, and we kind of have unlimited plays of this. So let's give it a shot. Yeah, this is the risk of doing openers with all of one color and none of the other color. You start drawing You don't necessarily start drawing cards of the other color, but it's still a consideration. Yeah, we just got hosed. Anyway, we do have to run all of these out because that's part of our game plan. But we do need to start. But we do need to. Well, we do have a fierce retribution in case of emergency. Our opponent has a blocker, so that's something to consider. Another kindly ancestor. We have to cast this, or else the Fearful Villager flips, and that's a 4/3. Which might not be so bad. Actually, no, let's just cast it. It's whoever can get the larger board. Opponent's also playing blue. Opponent's gonna gum up the board with a lot of flyers. That's a consideration. Yeah, opponent wisely does not. I'm gonna yeah, this is what we call a demonstrably bad attack. Our opponent's main concern. Okay, here. Our opponent's main concern should be the 2D Twin Blade guys, but yeah, because they know we're gonna cast one of these. Our opponent probably has a removal. Then again, we know we're already at a huge disadvantage based on the hand we kept, so yeah, we baited out the removals. There's a removal spell, so be it. So opponent can swing with everyone now. We do have a Valorous stance that we can't really use on. We can give the Kindly Ancestor even more lifelink, which is horrible. Yeah, so at least I did this one to give you guys a demonstrable lesson. I was actually hoping that it wouldn't turn out this bad, but yeah, we drew 2 cards that we're not able to do anything with. The good news is that the minor good news I would say is that we decided to keep on the majority color, so we're not So if we're really if we get hosed with cards of our minor color, then we're really hosed. Also wondering, our opponent's doing some math. It's as if they have some other trick. Pass. We will destroy this Whispering Wizard because this guy generates a lot of 1/1s. Sure strike. Hold on, let's do a sand. Unfortunately, it does not buff the toughness, so we are taking a big hit. But I'm actually, it could have been worse, so it's actually still fine. Yeah, but so we could just cast the Kindly Ancestor, but that really does nothing in this board. We're actually gonna hold. We're gonna actually hold back. We kind of want our opponent to attack with the Fearsome Werewolf, go all in. It will give us a valorous chance to do a valorous stance. Opponent is smartly just going up in the air. Also note that none of our cards will answer this situation. Cradle of Safety. Yeah, becomes the target of a spell you control. Okay. Unfortunately, it has hexproof, so yeah, that could be worse. Yeah, we did not. Maybe we could scare our opponent, but I think we're kind of dead on board anyway, so yeah, we're dead on board anyway. Well, even if we flip this one, yeah, I'm assuming our opponent has another spell effect to buff something, since they really built it around that Drake. So, but it's really more of a lesson on what kind of hands not to keep. Now, I will admit that it was very tempting because we literally started with just one blue card. But do note that if you make the choice to keep that kind of hand, it's all on you. So this one we can absolutely not keep at all. So we definitely will take a mulligan here. Wow, okay. It's a shame too. We have a very good opening start, but okay, this one we can keep. Probably bin one ancestor. We kind of want to hold up the syncopate as well because our opponent our opponent's going first. If they happen to have a 1-2-3 start, we might be in trouble. Though sometimes that's how it goes. Dread Feud. Oh, never mind. We're not going to be able to syncopate. Well, we'll see. If our opponent holds up the syncopate, it becomes interesting. They probably just ditch the Panic Bystander, I guess. This card would... Yeah, they can also just take out the syncopate so they don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, that's what they do. Dread Fugue actually... Well, this one's really good in opening hand. It loses... So now our opponent has to well, they can swing easily. They'll have first strike on attacks. They need to decide if I actually, Because we're just gonna be trading life at that point, though they could have something else. They don't know I have the third land yet. This is an auto take. Reckless Impulse draws cards. Did not hit a land. Things are starting to look up for us now. So do they hit their land? They hit their land, so they will be able to, well, the aim for the head is kind of, oh, aim for the head's gonna be super annoying. It's the Blood Hypnotist, not so much. So they're gonna have to decide if they want a creature that can't block, or if they want to just nuke the 2 cards out of my hand. If I had to choose, I probably would. Well, yeah, that would be the correct choice. So we'll exile the Panic Bystander. We will. The Gutter Sculptor is a lot better, so I'm gonna. But it is conditional, but it's kind of it's also eventual. So it'll be annoying if it turns. Now I realize that with enough Dreg Fugues and aim for the heads, you could blank out an opponent's. You could blank out an opponent's hand. That looks like a legit strategy now, if I think of it. Well, thankfully our opponent's going to trade off the Blood Temple Celebrant. That's one less creature for me to worry about. They do get a blood token, so it looks like they wanted it. Well, they did miss a land drop earlier. They might consider. Okay, they're now hitting their land drops while we're still missing ours. This is yeah, it's now we're the one missing land drops. This has Death Touch, so no benefit to us swinging here. But to be fair, I already know that this was already a very underpowered draft for us. We didn't start out with when your bomb is Mirror Hall Mimic, you are in trouble. Landing Invitation, draw a card. Kind of fine specifically in the Vampires deck. I don't think our opponent swings with Diregraph Scavengers. They have absolutely no need to do so. Do they actually have remove? There's also an argument for there's also a possible strategy of well, we're both stuck. So yeah, that is awkward. Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, yeah, we do have I think we have another 4-drop that's big, but otherwise we should have a draft. Sure. Doesn't exile it, which is okay. I'll take that. Blood Petal Celebrant, that's fine. Opponent swings, that's fine too. And the opponent has no way of protecting. I was already thinking how many more dead drops do we have? Actually, we have a 6-drop, and it's in black, so it'll be really cruel. But yeah, we kind of need land or some sort of drop. Here's where this. Oh, that's trying to save us. I'm probably gonna just end up. Okay, we discard a basic land card. Decline. We're gonna discard the Heron Blessed Geist and the Blinding Geist. So, opponent doesn't have any real big creatures yet. I did give them some incentive to exile cards from our yard. But then again, they probably were gonna do it anyway, so... Let's see, probably not Mirror Hall Mimic. Gutter Sculptor is probably a good one. It does make racing a bit interesting. Only if you control an enchantment and only as a sorcery. So Heron Blessed Geist is super conditional. Let's just play the Gutter Sculptor, see if our opponent has removal for this. I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, they... Well, no, it could just be the Wedding Invitation constantly flagging them, but they... Like, Grisly Ritual is 6 mana, so they are missing 1 for it. Yeah, Eswald Shield Basher, not great, but you kind of need, if you kind of need something, you need something. Oh, we could also just Binding Geist the Blood Petal Celebrant. Well, we're not blocking. I'm not taking the risk of I'm not taking the risk of a Sure Strike if I don't have to. Also, me needing to land a creature is so relevant here. Okay, Blood-Tide Harvester. We don't really have any protection per se. Wait, if we do get to swing with this, we do have some sort of protection, but it's a one-shot. Also, sacrifice for twice the number of blood. Now we can activate this. But I probably want to hold up the backup Valorous stance. Mirror Hall Mimic copying Blood-Tide Harvester. If our opponent ends up sacking the blood token, it means they have nothing. Because that is kind of the removal spell. They just need another blood token and they will be able to nuke this one out. If they nuke the token, that means yeah, that means they're desperate mode. Or well, okay, they are in desperation mode. Looks like they might be their hand might be flooded. So we kind of have a way to catch up here, but not the best. It's like a one-shot protection, and then we have to exile this Mirror Hall Mim. I would like to do the Ghastly Mimic. I would like to do Ghastly Mimicry on the Blood-Tide Harvester, although our opponent just needs to sack it in response. So that's kind of a no-go. We are waiting for our opponent to drop their bomb. Because none of the things we have right now... I could copy the Gutter Skulker, which would... Okay. Because right now, because if I don't have anything else to do, I will just exile this and then just keep swinging with this one. Here's an Evolving Wilds. Okay, that one slips through. Let's cast this now. Not good. And let's pass. We did manage to catch up a bit, but it's only because it's super weird. Our opponent has a lot of cards in hand, but they've been so reluctant to cast things. It's as if they're anticipating something. I could double block this guy. It might eat the combat trick. I'm fine with that. Basically, I would rather the combat tricks go anywhere but my face. Undying Malice. I can make it indestructible so it doesn't get to come back. Which might actually be a better plan. But we're gonna still save. But I think we'll let that happen. We'll still save it. Our opponent's definitely holding up something. I don't wish it actually came back as a 4/4. But they've been doing a lot of discard drawing, so it looks like they might be really stuck. They could just be super land heavy. Well, we are super card heavy at this point. We will cast the Eswald Shield Bearer. We'll hold on to the Mirror Hall Mimic for as long as we can. In fact, we do have the alternate option of just using Valorous Stance to give this one Nameless Bolt. So we are kind of shields down in the process. Though, if Gutter Skulker dies, we can just disturb it onto the Eswald Shield Basher. So, I might want to do a backup Mirror Hall Mimic on it first. We only have 8 mana though. And this is like 4 to disturb as well. We would need 9 mana to do all that, and I'm loath to say that. Opponent's also been kind of stuck at 5 mana, though they have been discarding lands, so it looks like they don't really need it. Opponent's still there, so they're gonna borrow our creature. Okay, that's 9 damage. Okay. Okay, dude. Now let's see what the follow-up is. The sad thing is it gets back to us, then it comes back on tap. Okay, so it's not too bad. I might be tempted to actually Mirror Hall Mimic the Blood Tide Harvester. It's actually tempting to string with both, but we need to hold something back. Yeah, not yet. Not quite yet. If our opponent has one, it's possible they may have more than one. That would be very okay. They finally dropped their 6th land. Here. I think I have another. Opponent goes Vampire's Vengeance, wipes the board. What the? None in my batay.
Bola ba?
Boba.
With bola.
Bola. Opponent doing all this without any removal is actually very interesting. Now this brings us back to 9. We're gonna cast this one. We actually have enough cards in the graveyard to give it first strike if it's relevant. Not so sure if our opponent can just sack. Well, I actually would like our opponent to sack the Blood Tide Harvester. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. We actually could be dead anytime. If our opponent goes to sack the blood token, that means they're digging for something. If they could easily just crack the Wedding Invitation, get themselves back up to a healthy life total. Here's the thing: if Belligerent Guest deals combat damage, so well, I can give it first strike is to negate that. But if opponent taps this one to attack, then at least we know our Gutter Skulker is still safe. Opponent needs to make a decision here. Like, they can get more blood tokens this way, but if they allow me to block, there's no point using the Wedding Invitation. They might have to crack and give it to Belligerent Guest. Restless Bloodseeker. Oh, he skipped the attack altogether. No blood token. Because they did not gain life. Yeah, they would have needed to attack with this one first for it to be relevant. So we might actually slip through this one. Let's see. Yep, they discarded their last card. Is it relevant? It might still be, but first things first, I'm gonna have it enter as a copy of Gutter Skulker. They might have removal, which would be annoying, but basically the idea is to have a backup. Since this turn is supposed to be Yeah, and I do they not have a? Oh man, our the correct play for our opponent was to have attacked with something, gained some life. They had the now they would have gotten more blood tokens, so not so much. But the important thing is they would have had an opportunity to get certain cards off the board. Now it is a tough one because they were all so tied together that it was very awkward, to be honest. But their losses are gained, and we managed to eke out those wins there. So hey, actually not bad. Hope that's kind of hopeful. It's a we got the rare cosmetic for a rare card, so this is pretty good. Usually the cosmetics they give you would be either rare mythic or a card sleeve or an avatar, or maybe even a pet. So there are plenty of options there. This one's probably gonna be one of the more common ones. But but all in all, not too bad, and we did learn quite a bit from this one. That's gonna be it for this episode, the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. If you have any questions about drafting, do ask away in the comments. I will say that drafting requires some amount of foreknowledge. It's generally preferable to start limited with an easier level set. If we still had core sets, those would have been the best options. AFR was probably the closest thing we got to one. That's actually a good option also. When you draft into expert level sets, a lot of things can change from time to time. Basically, in terms of card valuations, the value of rares and mythics, and in particular the speed of the format. In this case, there was removal, but apparently not so much removal that not so much removal that a Gutter Skulker could steal a win from out of nowhere. That said, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.